I think there's a lot of really bold people that stay quiet because when I think about safety, I think about safety in my body, safety in my nervous system. Do I have a previous example showing me that this is okay, that the lion's not going to come eat me, right? That I can step out and not have a huge consequence on myself and my life. And a lot of times we've actually seen the opposite where you've maybe tested it out or you've seen somebody try it out and they got fired or they got in trouble or they got put on plan or whatever that is. So you probably have had more examples in your life of it actually not being safe, that the stakes are really high. And you have less examples of, wow, I saw that person cry in the meeting and nobody shamed her or him. In fact, they got curious about it. Or I saw that person ask for that raise and they were met with curiosity or whatever those examples are.
Right.
We need proof that it's going to be okay, and that can come from other people's experiences and that can come from our own. But it comes back to like, does my nervous system go into like fight or flight?
Right.
Because I don't know, I don't feel sure enough how this is gonna go.
Yeah. No, I love that. I love that. Now, on all those elements that you said, if they were put into place, do you find any organizations that create those type of environments even based on goals that they establish for their leaders that they actually define, they put metrics to, they, assess it, they report on it, they really kind of hold them accountable to them to ensure this shift, whether it be at a team level or the culture itself. Have you ever found that?
I think B corporations are great examples of that. Now, it's not like I've been involved in a lot of B corporations to be like, "Oh, every one of them does this," but they have very strict metrics to meet that show that you care about the people, profit, and the planet. And it's very challenging to get a B Corp certification. And in fact, you're held to these pretty high metrics over and over and over again to prove that you put your money where your mouth is, for lack of better saying. And so I think that type of organization is designed to be set up that way. So I worked with Beauty Counter for about 9 years as a consultant for them, and that was my first experience of a B corporation, and I loved it. I loved it. I loved the true compassion for the people working for the company. I love the compassion for the environment. I love how thoughtful their decisions were from, like, every detail to, like, the brand of tampons they put in the bathroom for our conferences. We're like, "Oh, this is helping women in third world countries, and this is why we chose them." It was like every single detail showed that they cared. And so it wasn't just, "Oh, we have these values on our website," or these, with these values that we were told to make as part of our brand kit. It was like a real embodiment of what they stood for.
Yeah. And for those watching or listening that may not understand what B corporations are,
Mhm. I'm not an expert on that, but essentially it is a business with a triple bottom line. There's a rigid certification process that a corporation has to go through in order to be part of that. So like Patagonia, Ben and Jerry's, oh my gosh, well, Beauty Counter was one of, there's so many, but if you go to like I think it's bcorporations.com, you can see
right.
a list of them.
And I want to put that in our show notes for everyone because I think that would be a great read and great education for any leader within a business. And take out what you might not be going for the certification, but you can take out some elements of it that you can then feel safe about possibly implementing
Yeah.
in your own culture. So let's talk about the safety, the
Hmm.
psychological safety of, employees and setting up that type of culture. What does that take? And or what is the biggest impact that you find when there isn't that psychological safety?
I'm sure you've felt that in your life of
Mhm.
what the impact is. I think everyone, if we asked anybody listening, tell me a time where you haven't felt safe, everyone would have an answer and probably more than one. So I think what it takes is this is going to oversimplify it, but it takes vulnerability and it takes, especially from a leader